Hi everyone, in this lecture we are going to deal with string class that is part of C++ standard template library. So we are going to see how we can use the string class and make our work easier, okay? So the major advantage of this string class is it provides you an alternative for the character arrays, okay? So you do not need to create a character array, you can directly work with a string class. So what does a string class does, it basically wraps your character array inside a string object, okay? So instead of saying okay, you want to make a array containing, let's say, 100 characters, you can simply say okay, no, I will just make a string and I will give it a name s, okay? So a string class is um, like a container, okay? It's not a data structure, it's like a container that is going to contain a character array internally, okay? So let us see how we can define and work with the strings in C++. All right, so let's move on to the coding part and see what things we can do with the string class. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to first show you how you can do the initialization. So we can include the header file called string, and we can create a string, okay? We can initialize a string, so we can say string s0. So there is a string object and it's called s0, and we can say there is a string s1, and we can also initialize this, we can say hello, okay? And we can say string s2. There is another way to initialize, we can do assignment and we can say okay, hello world is another string, okay? So remember, when you're defining a string, it should go into double quotes. And we can also call copy constructor for the string object, and we can pass another string object here. So clearly you can see this is a new object and this is the object from where the data is being copied. So string s3 will be same as hello world, or we can say string s4, and we are creating a string s4 and we are saying this will be same as string s3. So this will be again containing this data hello world. And we can also initialize a string object from an array. So let me give you one example. Let's say this is like this. I can say okay, this is a, b and c, and I have a null here, okay? So I can say let me create a string object from this character array. So s4 will now have the contents uh, initialized from this character array. So s4 will be equal to abc. So if I do cout s0 and I do s1, s2, s3 and s4, s1, s2, s3 and s4, so let's see what the output is now, okay? Okay, this should be s5, cout s5 and l, because we have already used s4 here, okay? So you can see the first string is actually a null string, and s1 is hello, then we have hello world, hello world, hello world, and finally the last string is abc. And if you want to check if a string is empty or not, so you can also call if s0.empty. So empty function returns a boolean value, true or false. You can say okay, s0 is an empty string, something like this. And here you can see this output, s0 is an empty string. So what else we can do, we can have lot more functions in the string class. We can add characters to a string. For example, in the s0 I want to append something like this, I love C++. So maybe this will get appended to the previous string. So now my s0 will be a modified string. So append basically adds these adds this string to the last of this particular string. So I can do a endl here, and you can see this output. So it says I love C++. Maybe you can also use s equal to s plus some other string. Okay, you can say okay, and Python. I can do this, or you can use the plus equal to operator as well. Okay, so if I do cout s naught now, sorry, this should be s naught. Okay, so if I do cout s naught now, I will get this thing. So you can see this is now a modified string, and it says I love C++ and Python. And you can also remove or erase the contents of the string. If you want to just clear everything from the string, then you can use the clear method. So you can say s0.clear, and let me just print out the length of the string. So s0.length before we erase something, and after we have erased all the contents of the string. So this length function gives us how many characters we have in this string object. Okay, this should be a semicolon here. And you can see initially there were 22 characters in this string, and after we have erased, there are only 0 characters left in the string. We can also compare two strings. So let's say we have a string s0 that is equal to apple, we have s1 that is equal to, let's say, mango, and what we can do, we can say cout s0.compare, and here I give s1. So the way this compare function works, it actually returns an integer. Okay, so this integer is either equal to 0 if the strings are equal, and otherwise it's greater than 0, or it is less than 0. So let us see what does this return. Okay, so we are comparing s0 with s1. Okay, and it is going to make a lexicographic comparison. So we get a negative number, which means uh, apple is smaller than mango. If we talk about lexicographically, if I reverse the comparison, if I compare s1 with s0, so we are comparing mango with apple. So in this case we will get the reversed output, so we are getting 12. And if I say okay, compare s1 with s1, then we should get 0 because both the strings are equal. So this is how the comparison works. You can also use s0 less than s1, or you can also use s1 greater than s0, because the less than operator is overloaded for the strings. So you can also use uh, overloaded operators, less than and greater than. Okay, so these are defined on the string objects. Okay, so maybe if I do, if s0 is greater than s1, or if I do s1 is greater than s0, you can say cout mango is lexicographically greater than apple. Okay, this is something you can do, and let's see the output here. Okay, so it says mango is lexicographically greater than apple, and this should be like this. All right, so you can see the operators are overloaded. You can do assignment, you can use greater than, you can do plus equal to, you can also access ith character of a string. You can do s of I, so you can say cout s of 0. So that means the square brackets is also defined on the string object. Okay. So this should be S0, okay, or S1 of 0. That will be M. Okay, so this is M actually. So what else we can do? We can also find substrings. Okay, for example, if I say S equals to I want to have apple juice, if someone says like this, then I want to find index of this word apple, suppose. So what I can do, I can say int index equals to s dot find, and here I pass on the word apple, and if I just print what is the index of the word apple. Okay, so this is the string, let's say string is, and I'm finding this word apple inside it. So let's see what this index is. So it gives me 15, so we can just say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. So this index is actually 15, and I can also remove a word from the string. Okay, so I can say okay, the word that we are going to remove is apple. Okay, so I can just string word equals to apple. I want to just remove this word, so I can say s dot erase. This word is present at this particular index, so I can say okay, remove the word from this particular index, and how many characters you want to remove from this index, that should be equal to length of the word. Okay, so length of the word is given by the length method that is defined on the string object. So you can say word dot length, and here you can say length. Starting from this index, remove these many characters. So let's do cout s, that is the modified string. So cout s here. Okay, this should be len. Okay, this should be len. Okay, now you can see I want to have apple juice, and after we remove the word apple, we are getting I want to have juice. So maybe you can also do length plus 1, because you have two spaces at this particular point, so you can remove one extra space as well. Okay, all right, so this is how you can remove a word from a string. And one last thing that I'm going to show you, you can also iterate over all the characters in the string. So there are multiple ways. So the very simple way is you can just put a for loop, and you can say okay, for I less than equal to s dot length, or let's say s1 dot length I plus plus, and every time you can just do cout s of I, maybe followed by a colon. Okay, something like this. Or you can also use iterators. Okay, let's see how we can so you can see this is the output of this. Okay, this should be s1. Okay, s1 of I. So we are getting this mango followed by colon after each characters. So we can also work with iterators. So what are iterators? So if you have a string like let's say mango, and you say okay, I want to iterate this string starting from begin till the end. Okay, so begin is like a pointer that points to the first um, position in this array, and s dot end basically points to the position that is after the last character. Okay, so we want to start from this point and we want to iterate till this point. So you basically iterate from begin till the end. Okay, so end is not included, so we will say start from begin and stop just before the end. So what we can do for uh, we can say auto it equals to s dot begin, it not equals to s dot end, I do it plus plus. Okay, so I can say cout uh, star of it, star of it. So what is going to happen in this case now is, when we are doing cout star of it, we are going to see what is the value at the ith character, because it is a pointer. Okay, so it is a pointer actually, and if you do star of it, you are going to get the value at this bucket. Okay, so if this character is a, you are going to get a. So doing star of it gives us the value pointed uh, by the it. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I'll just separate it this by a comma, and let's say this is s1. Okay, this should be equal to it not equal to s1 dot end. Oh, small mistake here. Okay, so you can see we are able to iterate over the word mango, and we can also use a for each loop to iterate over all the characters of a string. So this is a supported feature in C++11. So what we can do, if you have something like this mango, you can use a for each loop. You can say, okay, for every character C that is there in this particular string S, okay, we want to see out C. So C is going to be an holder that is going to hold, for the first time it is going to hold M, next time it is going to hold A and G and O. So let us see how we can write a for each loop. So I can say for for auto C that belongs in the string S1, we can say C out C, maybe followed by a dot. Let's see. Okay, okay, so if you do not know what is auto keyword doing, so auto automatically defines the data type depending upon what type of value you have on the right hand side. Okay, for example, if I say auto x equals to 5, then x will get a data type as int, and if I say auto y equals to hello, then this will be a string. Okay, or if I say auto z equals to 5.5, then z will be a float. So in this case, this is an iterator. So iterators are defined inside the class. So if you have a string class, then there is another class that is defined as class iterator inside this class. Okay, so if you want to make an iterator for the string class, the way you are going to write it as, you are going to say string iterator it. Okay, so this is the exact data type for this particular iterator. So because this is inside the string class, so we use the scope resolution operator to define this iterator. Okay, so if you don't want to use the keyword auto, you can say, okay, string colon colon iterator it, and here this C is going to be a character. So let's run the code and see. Okay, now you can see in all of the cases we are able to iterate on the string. All right, so this was a quick demo of string stl class, and if you are interested, you can just check out the documentation on c++reference.com c++.com for a more detailed version. Okay, so if you want to learn time complexity of any method, or if you want to see what arguments a function is going to take, you can definitely check out the documentation. So that's all for this video. Thanks a lot.